welcome to the first episode of the Down the Line podcast. I'm your host, Daniel Frank. I'm with my co-host, Scott Frank, also my dad. And today, for the first episode, we're going to talk about the standings so far during the season for Major League Baseball as of August 18th, 2018. We're going to start out with the West. We're going to tell you the records, how tough their schedule is, how many games they have left, and out of how many of the games they have left are against playoff teams. We're going to start first with the American League West. The Astros are in first place. They are 48, and they have the 20th toughest schedule, 40 games left, and 11 games against playoff teams. Of course, they have a pretty tough division with the Athletics and the Mariners, both up there. Speaking of the Athletics, they were 73 and 49, one game behind the Astros after their walk-off home run from Matt Olson last night. And they have the 10th toughest schedule for the rest of the season, 40 games left, and only 8 of them are against playoff teams. I'm pretty sure it's only Houston and Seattle left they have to face. And then the Mariners are 70 and 53, 4.5 games behind Houston. They have the 9th toughest schedule left, 40 games, 19 games against playoff teams. Mostly New York, Boston, and then also Houston and Oakland. Then the Angels, they're even 62 and 62, 13 games behind Houston. 15th toughest schedule, 38 games left, 18 of them are against playoff teams. Then the Rangers, 55 and 69, 20 games back of Houston. 5th toughest schedule, 38 games, and only 6 of them are against playoff teams. So now we're going to go ahead and predict who wins the division and if there are any teams in that division who has the wild card spot. So I'm going to ask you first, who do you think wins the division?
I still think Houston wins because they got guys hurt. And I still think when they get everyone healthy and get everybody, they got the pitching. When they get Altuve back, they get these guys going together, they'll win the division. But I really like Oakland to win the wild card. Because just the way they play, their teamwork, their chemistry, and just the way they're playing right now.
I'm gonna have to disagree. I really like Oakland as a team. They don't have that many starting pitching. Sean Manaea is the only one that comes to mind, but Oakland with Houston, with Springer just coming back, and I'm pretty sure Correa and Altuve are still on the shelf. And with 11 of their games against playoff opponents, I think Oakland overtakes Houston and they win the division. But that's going to be crazy to see if Oakland does win the division and Houston has to get a wild card spot after winning the World Series. I can't think of anybody who's done that.
I mean, besides Houston's hitting, their pitching is just Verlander, Cole, Keuchel, McCullers. I mean, Morton. That's the deciding factor for me. But Oakland, man, I wouldn't count them out. They're just playing
for me
lights out.
The biggest thing for a playoff team has to be their bullpen. Oakland has probably the best, maybe only besides the Yankees, the best American League bullpen. A lot of those guys are pretty shaky though. Familia, Rodney, Blake Trinan, a couple of other guys in that bullpen. For me, playoff baseball, you gotta have a good bullpen. And Houston, besides Roberto Osuna, they don't really have anybody in that bullpen.
Well, we'll see what Osuna does.
Yep. Anybody wild card spot in that division?
I got Houston and Oakland.
I got Houston will still be in the playoffs. They'll win the wild card. That's my opinion.
I have Houston win the division and Oakland the wild card.
Let's move to the AL Central. Arguably, in my opinion, the worst division in all of baseball. First place is the Indians, 70 and 51. They have the least toughest schedule yet. That's mostly because they have the Twins, Tigers, White Sox, and Royals in their division. 41 games left, 7 of them against the playoff teams. All of them are against the Red Sox. They play a 3-game series and then a 4-game series. And then the Twins in second, 58 and 63, 12 games back. They have the 28th toughest schedule, 41 games. 16 of them are against playoff teams. Tigers, 50 and 73, 21 games back. 27th toughest schedule, 39 games, 15 games against playoff opponents.
Stop there. Cleveland has that.
Yeah, okay.
Cleveland has it. There ain't no reason to read anymore.
I do
because hold on. What's going to hurt Cleveland is that division. So
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The toughness of that division. Other guys are fighting for their lives, and these guys are just cruising. I like them. Don't get me wrong, but it could hurt them at the
I like
end.
Cleveland too. They're my dark horse World Series, like AL pennant winner. Mostly because Lindor and Ramirez, but now that Trevor Bauer is out for 4 to 6 weeks with that leg fracture, Kluber, great. I like Carlos Carrasco, but after that, you don't really have anybody else. Danny Salazar. That bullpen, though, I do like their bullpen. Andrew Miller. I'm having a brain fart. Andrew Miller, Brad Hand is their new closer. I do like Cleveland, and I watch out for the White Sox. I do like the White Sox, but yeah, we both agree Cleveland wins that division. Let's move on to the American League East. The Red Sox, 87-36. They have the 29th toughest schedule, 39 games left. 19 of them are against playoff teams. Yankees, 76-46. They're 10.5 games back behind Boston. 21st toughest schedule. 40 games, only 9 of them against playoff teams. Then the Rays are 62-60. I do like Tampa Bay. 24.5 games back, 16th toughest schedule, 40 games, 20 of them are against playoff teams. Blue Jays 55-67, 31.5 games back, 13th toughest schedule, 40 games, 19 of them against playoff teams. And Baltimore, the worst team in the league. Not by much, though. Kansas City is right there. 36-86, 50.5 games back. They have the 6th toughest schedule, 40 games, half of them coming against playoff teams.
Stop.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay, Boston, best team.
Yes, obviously.
Boston team, like to watch them play. Not even a Boston Red Sox fan, but man, I like to watch them play. They are tough.
Boston and Yankees is an interesting situation.
If the Yankees can get their pitching, they're tough.
Yep.
Get Judge back.
Mm-hmm.
I like them. Their bullpen too is, decent.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get into the playoffs, your bullpen has to be light. So that's why I like Cleveland too. Once they get there, their bullpen. But Boston, wow.
I do want to say something though. Tampa Bay, I think, will be a playoff team in the upcoming years. At their trade deadline, getting Tommy Pham and Glasnow and Meadows, and then they also, to complete the trade, they got another top 100 prospect from Pittsburgh. I don't exactly remember his name, but getting 3 great players in exchange for Chris Archer, I like that deal. But yeah, Red Sox and Yankees are in that division are going to make the playoffs. So far, I have Oakland winning the division, Cleveland winning the Central, Red Sox winning the East, and then the Yankees and Astros in a rematch of the 2015 wild card. You basically are sticking with
Houston,
the entire
division
right now.
Houston, Oakland wild card, Boston Red Sox Cleveland, and then Yankees in there win the wild card too.
Yep. Let's go ahead and move on to the National League West. We have the Diamondbacks at the top, 68-55. They have the 8th toughest schedule, 39 games left, 10 of them against playoff teams. Then the Rockies, 66-56, 1.5 games back. 3rd toughest schedule, 40 games, 13 games against playoff teams. Dodgers, 66-57, 2 games back. 11th toughest schedule, 39 games, 7 games against playoff teams. All of them are against the Diamondbacks. And the Giants, 61-62, 7 games back. 2nd toughest schedule, 39 games, 9 games against playoff teams. And the Padres are 48-77, 21 games back. They have the toughest schedule for the rest of the year. 37 games, 7 of them are against a playoff team. And it's, again, the Diamondbacks. For this division, it's, in my opinion, is probably one of the best in baseball. If you look at the tough schedule, Diamondbacks are 8th, Rockies 3rd, Dodgers 11th, Giants 2nd, and then the Padres are 1st. I like the Diamondbacks. I'm a D-backs fan, so I'm going to say that. But if they can keep rolling like they have been against the Padres and get started, and I don't trust that Dodger bullpen, neither Colorado. Until Dodgers get Kenley Jansen back, that bullpen is really shaky. How many in the span of 7 games, they had 5 blown saves, 5 losses.
Yeah, well, I got Padres winning the whole thing. I'm just kidding. It's another tough division like that American League West. Tough. Who knows? What a great season. Going to go all the way down to the end. I like the D-backs. Their starting pitching, their bullpen. Sometimes they just get weak teams. They play to their level.
Mm-hmm.
We got to get that killer instinct. But Dodgers, Colorado, wow. I mean, it's just going to go back and forth, back and forth. Great. I'll go. I'm a D-backs fan too, so I'll go D-backs just because I believe they're going to do it, just because the way they're playing and getting everybody, Souza and Jay and all those guys hitting the outfield, and I'm going to go. I'm gonna go Colorado with the wild card.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know if their bullpen though.
Yeah.
Maybe I like LA's bullpen better than theirs, but they pay a lot of money for their bullpen.
Yeah.
So maybe they get it at the end. But that's what I'm going with. D-backs division, Colorado wild card, and all that money. Train those dudes for, Manning. We'll see. We'll see in Dozier. We'll see, man.
Colorado. I do like Colorado. The problem is they don't have any pitching at all.
But their hitting
they
is
have
just...
no ace. They have no bullpen. They paid $120 million. I like Colorado. I like Blackman. I like Arenado's story. Dodgers, same thing. Getting Manny Machado and Brian Dozier was great. But you can't win games if your bullpen's giving up runs.
That's the thing. In the playoffs, sometimes it comes down to pitching and all that. You can't hit your way out of, it's 2-1, 3-1, so...
I don't know about you, but... I haven't heard anything about Clayton Kershaw. The last time I heard about Clayton Kershaw was because he faced Madison Bumgarner.
Yeah.
I've never...
Well,
yeah.
We'll see.
Both got Diamondbacks winning the National League West. We had the Central, which in my opinion is the best division in the National League. Cubs on top, 71-50. They have the 24th toughest schedule. They got 41 games left, 13 of them against playoff teams. Milwaukee, 68-56, 4.5 games back. 14th toughest schedule, 38 games, 6 of them against playoff teams. All of them are the Cubs. Cardinals, 67-56, 5 games back, 25th toughest schedule, 39 games, 11 of them are against playoff teams. The Pirates, 61-62, 11 games back, 12th toughest schedule, 39 games, 21 of them are against playoff teams. Then the Reds, 53-69, we're not even going to talk about them. Reds are gone.
I mean, come on. Cubbies, Milwaukee, St. Louis,
I tell you
Pittsburgh.
I'm picking the Cubs to win the division, and St. Louis is going to get that wild card spot.
Yeah, I don't know. Milwaukee, I think they'll do it. But I think Cubbies are going to win.
With their
and I think Milwaukee's going to hang on for the wild card. But who knows? Who knows? I mean, I think the Cubbies are going to hang on though. So that's pretty. I mean, that's a good division too, man. I mean, that's going to go down to the.
I'm going to say it.
What a great season it's going to be.
Three playoff teams are coming from the Central.
Yeah, all the way down. I mean, awesome. Cubbies, Brewers for me.
I got 3 teams coming out of the Central. I got the Cubs, Brewers, and Cardinals. I think the Phillies fall out. I think Braves win the division. Philly, we'll talk about Philly when we get to them. Braves, NL East, 68-53. They have the 19th toughest schedule, 41 games, 15 games against playoff teams. Philly, 68-54. A half game behind Atlanta, 17th toughest schedule, 40 games, 11 of them against playoff teams. Nationals are 62-61, 7 games back, 22nd toughest schedule, 39 games, 19 of them against playoff teams. We're not even going to mention the Mets and Marlins. What a disappointing season for Washington.
Well, man, there's a lot of baseball left.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, they're not that far back.
Yeah, you never know.
Even in the wild card. The wild card, Washington is only 5.5 games back.
They could get hot at the end and go into the playoffs and just kick butt. I mean, that's just how baseball is. That's why I love baseball. It's just hot team. Doesn't matter who has all the talent. I mean, they got a lot of talent. They should do better than they are. I mean, serious. But, from where they're coming, maybe that helps them at the end. They stick together, boom. But, yeah, I like Atlanta. Wow.
Heck, I had Washington in my predictions on my own channel. I had them winning or going to the World Series.
Yeah,
now it's like they probably aren't going to make the playoffs.
I'm not sure, but Atlanta lose 2 games after Acuna got hit.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, they won.
Did they win?
Game that
did they win that game
hit,
and they lost? Yeah. But yeah, that was why.
So Philly for me misses the playoffs. I like them. Getting Justin Bour was kind of odd to me considering they already have Carlos Santana. You could possibly move him to the outfield. But that outfield is crowded. They got Williams, Herrera and Hoskins. I like the Phillies, but I like the Braves more.
You start moving guys around in the playoffs when you need a defense. Defense is a key. You can't just stick a guy out there at the end of the season. And I know they're major leaguers, but you start. I mean, outfield's no joke. So
Mm-hmm.
I like the Nationals come and win the division.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I think they're gonna, Scherzer and those guys are just gonna
Mhm.
get. I mean, 5.5. I mean, they can just keep. No one's gonna talk about them. Boom,
Yep.
boom, 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 boom. Next thing you know,
So
they're in first place. I think they're just gonna win the division.
Washington.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and recap. The American League, I have Boston, Cleveland, and Oakland winning their divisions. I have Houston and the Yankees being the wild card teams. And in the National League, I have the Diamondbacks, the Cubs, and the Braves winning their division. And Milwaukee and St. Louis being the wild card teams. And you have
I got Houston winning the
Cleveland.
division, Oakland wild card,
Cleveland,
Cleveland. Yeah, I mean if they don't, that's a
Boston, New
disappointment.
York, yeah.
Red Sox, Yankees in there for a wild card, and then I got D-backs winning with Colorado wild card, Cubbies, and then I at Cubbies and Brewers, Brewers for the wild card, and I got Nationals coming back, man, coming in winning the division, brother.
How weird would that be if Cleveland just suddenly went on this terrible stretch and Minnesota came behind? 12 games back is not a lot, especially with 40 games left.
Yeah, I don't know. Minnesota traded all their guys. I mean, at the end, when it gets in the dog days of summer and it's going, I don't know. Cleveland, they're pretty good. They play good together too, man. They're a good
Speaking
team.
of the Twins, last year the Twins made the playoffs and they sold at the deadline. Brandon Kinsler went away. A couple other guys left. And I think the Cardinals just did the same thing. They got rid of Tommy Pham. They still have most of their people left. Carpenter, Molina.
They didn't trade too many. They just got rid of their
Yeah.
coach. And
Oh, and Matheny.
you know, I mean, they just got rid of their coach. I mean, baseball's weird, man. You play good together. You beat teams that you shouldn't beat, and you get on a roll. And next thing you know, you win 10 out of 14 games. And you're right back in it. I mean, that's why I love it, man.
We're gonna predict our playoffs right now. So my wild card game is Houston and New York. And I have Houston winning. Severino versus I'm gonna put Verlander there. I like Verlander in the playoffs, and I think Houston's offense just takes off against the Yankees, and that's it. That game is in Houston, and then your wild card game is Oakland and New York, and that would probably be in New York.
I'll take New York. I mean, I like Oakland. I hope Oakland does good, but one game.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take New York.
Yeah. Division series, American League Division series, it would be the Red Sox versus your winner, the Yankees. And who would you pick in that series? Can't go wrong with Boston, right?
I would think Boston's going to win the whole thing, but
Yeah.
we'll see if Sell, as long as he stays healthy and those guys, that's a awesome lineup, man.
And then your other division series in the American League, Cleveland versus Houston. Who do you have winning that?
I like Houston, man. Once they get everyone going, everyone healthy, you can't bet against them. Just depends how tired they are, whatever. As long as they get everyone healthy, hey, I like their chances too.
Then for my American League Division series, mine would be the Red Sox versus the Astros, and I got the Red Sox winning that one. Houston, great team, but J.D. Martinez, Mookie Betts, then you got Chris Sale, David Price, Rick Porcello, Eovaldi on the mound. I like that. Then my other division series, Cleveland versus Oakland. I'm going to pick Cleveland. I like Oakland, probably my favorite team to watch right now. But Ramirez and Lindor, then you get to Kluber in that bullpen. I really like them. Now the division series, that would be the Diamondbacks versus the Nationals. Who do you have winning that?
I'll take D-backs.
Mm-hmm.
The Nationals like to lose in the playoffs, so I would take I'll take the D-backs.
And then your other one,
their starting pitching is, I mean, Buck Holtz is pitching incredible, man. I'll take him in the game. He don't get flustered. I'll take Greinke's pitching. The last game was, but he's been pitching good. Corbin, you got Godley. I mean, Ray might even be in the bullpen.
Yep.
I mean, But I'll take the D-backs.
And then your wild card. Did you pick your wild card game? Oh, we didn't do the National League wild card game.
I got Milwaukee and
Colorado, right?
I got Milwaukee and Colorado.
Who wins that?
I'll take
game?
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee. So Milwaukee would face Chicago. Who wins that division or that series?
Man, we're playing pretty close head to head, but I'll take the Cubbies.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll take the Cubs.
Right.
Just because Grandma likes the Cubs. We'll take Cubbies, but I like the Cubs.
Yep. And then for my wild card game, I have the Brewers and Cardinals. I'm gonna pick the Cardinals. Carpenter, as of late, in my opinion, has been my MVP. So I have him carrying St. Louis past the wild card round. And then they would face the Cubs. So the Cubs Cardinals, I have the Cubs winning. And then the D-backs versus the Braves, I have the Braves winning. Or excuse me, the Diamondbacks. Because Braves don't really have any pitching besides Fultonevich. You can't really, Newcomb, Tehran. So now our championship series. In the American League, you have Boston and Houston?
Yeah, I'll take Boston.
Mm-hmm.
I can't go again. I mean, they're just playing unbelievable. Unless they do with Seattle, from 2001, where they lay an egg. But I'll take Boston right now.
And then your National League Championship Series, you had
and that kills me. Because I'm not anything New England fan, but you gotta like watching playing.
And then your National League Championship Series is the Diamondbacks versus the Cubs. Who do you have winning that?
You're probably gonna be mad at me, but the Cubbies just because they've been there before.
Yeah.
But gotta have Goldie hit.
Yeah.
You gotta have Souza.
Yeah.
I love Escobar.
Yeah.
For the D-backs, I'd keep him. Escobar has just been awesome, but you got Peralta who's been playing lights out. That's tough. A long series though, but Cubbies squeeze out maybe.
Okay.
I'm a D-back fan, but yeah.
So my National League Championship Series is also the Cubs and D-backs, and I'm gonna have to agree with you. The Cubs do squeeze it out because, like you said, they've been there before. Pretty much everybody on their team has been that far. I don't think any, besides Descalso and John Jay and Buchholz, not really any of our guys have been in the National League Championship Series.
Well, just think Cubbies, Boston in the World Series, two oldest baseball parks. That would be like history. Wow. In a couple of years ago, people were thinking that, and now it could be two oldest ballparks. That would be so good.
So Cubs move on to the World Series. And then the American League Championship Series, I had Boston and Cleveland. You can't go wrong with Boston. JD Martinez, Mookie Betts, like I said. So we have the same World Series, Chicago and Boston. Now who wins that?
Boston.
I
just think they're pitching. They got
Price.
I think that's where they I think Boston in 6 or 7 games. But, Cubbies bullpen, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's nothing but Boston.
Yeah.
Kimbrel. I'll take Boston.
I'm going to pick Chicago. Chicago, with their experience, I really like them. If that were to happen, I think Mookie Betts falters, can't hit, shut out by Hendricks and Quintana and Darvish. I think they're shut down. Because keep in mind, Quintana and Darvish both came from American League teams, Rangers and White Sox. So I think Cubs would dominate them. I think Sale can't pitch. He can't pitch in the playoffs. One game he pitched in against Houston, he just gave up a bunch of runs. So,
well, all I gotta say, it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be probably one of the best ones. I'm old for a long time. Yeah. We're one game here, one pitch. We'll see. We'll see who comes together, gets hot, and goes, man.
In my opinion, only 2 divisions have really been finished: Boston and Houston.
Yeah.
So my World Series champion is the Cubs. Your World Series champion is the Red Sox, and that's gonna do it for our first episode of the Down the Line podcast. If you did enjoy, make sure to follow us. Thank you for watching, and we'll check you out in the next episode.
Thank you.